So welcome. I am Dr. Bridie Schultz. I'm on the Management Committee for the Australian Citizen Science Association, otherwise known as ACSA. My PhD and background is in theriogenology, which is a branch of veterinary medicine that focuses on genetics and breeding. So that is the science that I research, but my area of passion, my science passion is biodiversity and nature in general. So welcome everyone and thank you for attending. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview of the citizen science projects that we're setting up across Australian public libraries. Most importantly, how you can get involved. So it's called the Maker Project for Libraries. What exactly is it? So it's a collaboration between ACSA, Australian Citizen Science Association, and ALIA, the Australian Library and Information Association. And it's to support public libraries to develop their own citizen science corner. Now, this creates an accessible platform for youth, but also the communities that they're a part of, to gain those practical science skills and knowledge, while also building connections and networks between scientists and communities. So it is a project funded by the Department of Industry, Science and Resources through their Science Engagement Program. So it's called the Maker Projects for Community STEM Engagement, if you wanted to seek further information on the funding for our project. So as I said, it's a collaboration between ACSA and ALIA. Who exactly is ACSA? So ACSA is the Australian peak body for citizen science, with the mission to advance citizen science through sharing of knowledge, collaboration, capacity building, and advocacy for citizen science. ACSA, so our role in this Maker project is to support the libraries in choosing citizen science projects that align with their community, because every place is different and every place has different challenges and opportunities when it comes to science. Our role is to also coordinate the expression of interests with scientists like yourself. I say across Australia, but we've actually now gone global with this initiative. So a general coordination of scientists anywhere and everywhere. And then also to help facilitate people like yourself running workshops in the citizen science corners for the libraries. So just in case you didn't know, or if you'd love to learn more, what is citizen science? The official definition from ACSA is the public participation and collaboration in scientific research with the aim to increase scientific knowledge. What I like to say is that you don't need a science degree to contribute to scientific research. And when we say contribute to scientific research, it's not just necessarily community members doing data collection for a research project, but it's also that knowledge transfer between community members and researchers. I learned a really nice term recently called parachute scientists, where a scientist or a group of scientists will go to a place at a single timestamp, a single point in time, to collect data, which can be advantageous in some scenarios, but citizen science means that the people who live there, the people who experience that environment, regardless of what environment it is you're referencing, they experience those challenges and opportunities every single day. So when it comes from collecting knowledge about an area or a challenge or an opportunity for scientific research, get the knowledge from the people who already have it rather than trying to start from scratch. So one of the, I don't know if it's the most famous, but I think it's one of the coolest examples of how citizen science has helped the world, is that of the Great Barrier Reef. So the Citizens of the Great Barrier Reef is a project where anyone who dives can go and get the actual data of the reef from the reef itself. So a lot of the research done on the coral bleaching for the Great Barrier Reef was from aerial views. So from the top, it looks really, really bad, but it was the divers underneath that said, yeah, look, the top of the coral's really bad, but actually when you get down under, there are some positive things happening in the Great Barrier Reef. So as the Great Barrier Reef is in my backyard, but also one of the wonders of the world, I think that this is a really powerful example of how involving citizens in scientific knowledge and research can be a very powerful and positive thing. One of the most common citizen science projects, at least in Australia, is the Aussie Bird Count. So once a year, they do a promotion out to the community and say, hey, on this day, tell us where you are and tell us what birds you see. So obviously from a environmental science perspective, this helps the scientists gain knowledge on what species are more abundant or less abundant, or in areas where they're not typically seen and things like that. So again, it's just a massive knowledge exchange. And in this instance, it's data collection. For those of you who may not be a biologist like me, it's not just about biology. A lot of people think that citizen science is only based on environmental, like nature data collection, but it's so much more than that. And here's just an example, the air radar one. So again, led by Australian scientists, and it's about tracking the quality of air in and around your area, but also how that affects your health and the health of people around you. And just because I love it, here is a really cool example of how citizen science can do great things. So this is a story from a school in Adelaide in South Australia, where through citizen science project that they were doing, they discovered 4 new species of wasp. Now, I don't know about you, I've never discovered a new species, but I'm pretty sure if I did when I was a kid, my love for science for the rest of my life would be nonstop. So I think it's just a beautiful way of getting people and community members who would otherwise maybe not think that they were good for science. It makes them realize that they can actually be a part of it and they can actually do amazing things. So specific for our project, the Maker project for libraries, the idea of the project, our methodology, is we're building citizen science corners in public libraries across Australia with the purpose to provide the public in those areas with access to science professionals like yourselves, but also tools, so like apps, data collection tools, and also the projects. So people don't know what they don't know. So if you've got a project, or if there's a project that could create an amazing positive impact in an area, but the people in that area aren't aware of it, the Citizen Science Corner can bring that knowledge to life in that region and get people involved. It also gives the community members that hands-on experience, so learning by doing in regards to science. It enables youth to gain insight into real research, so what is actually happening in the world of research. So that helps enhance their scientific literacy, but also, like I said before, with the WASPs, is they get that more informed attitude towards science. They understand how it works in practice, but also how it relates to them and the world around them. The Citizen Science Corners are built to cater to all communities members, regardless of their age, gender, race, and specifically their background in regards to whether they know everything or nothing about science. So the idea of the Citizen Science Corners in public libraries is to make everyone in the community realize that they can be a scientist and contribute to science if they want to. And one of my favorite benefits of this project is enhancing the collaboration between the scientists and the communities they serve. So what exactly is a Citizen Science Corner? It is quite literally a corner of the library dedicated to citizen science. So this picture is an example of a Citizen Science Corner that we built at a high school in Brisbane. The space isn't that big, but quite simply, it doesn't need to be. But the idea being that it's a dedicated space, not just to science in general, but specific to citizen science. So anyone can come into that library, learn something new about their area, but also learn how they can contribute to different scientific projects. So it does apply science in libraries by encouraging youth in their communities to be a part of the projects. And when we say projects, it's literally anything that's feasible in the resources that that library has. So we do feature global, national, and local citizen science projects for people to participate in. The beauty of this example, this photo here, is the whiteboard on the right-hand side. That's iNaturalist. So the students were tracking their iNaturalist findings, and they wanted to do it in a visual way that wasn't on a computer, which I am all for, getting people away from technology from time to time. Having said that, the laptops in the background are specifically dedicated to the students participating in a NASA project that tracks craters and mounds on Mars, using the Mars imagery and things like that. So we've got both we've got international, but also out of space projects set up in the one library. And the books on the shelves on the left-hand side are also all related to different aspects of citizen science and just that sort of information specific to how people can be a part of science and the world around them. So our Maker project has been going for a couple of months now. The first step was to build the Citizen Science Corners. We currently have 140 public libraries across Australia who are involved in the project. Unfortunately, we cover every state except Tasmania, but I do have high hopes that we will collaborate with colleagues down there. The project goes for another 12 months. So I believe that by the end of the project, we will be able to cover every state and territory in Australia. But if you're looking at this now and you go, oh, hey, there's a library in my region that has a citizen science corner, we can help match you up with them. We also asked the libraries what topics might be relevant to either their library, the community that they know come into their library, or the specific region in which they live. And these are some of the examples of the different research citizen science projects that the libraries have interest in. The fourth dot point down, dinosaurs, one of the libraries said that they have active dinosaur fossil sightings in their area. And so they want to get their community more engaged in the awesome, amazing fact that they can find fossils literally in their backyard. So how can you, our awesome science community, be involved in our Citizen Science Corners? You can either give a presentation at a Citizen Science Corner near you, which is why I showed that map. So the topic can be either on your scientific research or your science passions. So when I started, I said that my scientific research is on genetics and breeding, but that's not what I would talk to people about at the Citizen Science Corner, unless they wanted me to. But my science passion is the iNaturalist Citizen Science Project, which is just tracking flora and fauna around the world to help learn about biodiversity and species dispersal. Alternatively, if you aren't near a library or you don't have the time or desire to do it in person, you can give an online presentation to any or all, because it's the virtual world, the Citizen Science Corners around Australia. So we can match you, if it's online, obviously we've got more flexibility in how you can participate. So we can match you with a library that is interested in the same scientific topics as you. So for example, if your scientific research is based on sharks, then we could potentially match you with libraries who sit on the coastline who are interested in sharks because they have it there in their community. Alternatively, you might want to talk about sharks in rural and remote libraries in the middle of Australia who have probably never seen the ocean, to give them a fresh perspective on the world around them. If you're not in the mood or you don't feel like doing a presentation, then you're welcome to mentor the library team. So we can match you up with a library who, some of the library staff like to ask lots of questions, which is my favorite thing, is helping people expand their knowledge. So you can just be a mentor to libraries. We have a few areas where it's like a region that has 5 or 6 libraries in that region that are participating and have their own Citizen Science Corner. So if you just want to mentor and be available to answer questions about science and research that the communities might have, then we can just set you up as a mentor. Alternatively, if you're currently actively doing a science project or you know of one that you're really keen and passionate about, we can help you contribute those materials to the library. So your project can be a feature within the Citizen Science Corners if you want to get more of a community engagement for your work. Or something else completely different that I haven't spoken about. If there's another way that you'd like to engage, please let us know. More than happy to accommodate you as we can. So what's next? I am a scientist. I work with scientists. I know that our time is, everybody's time is valuable, but scientists, we get a little bit busy sometimes, especially if we're in academia. So we've done our best to structure this opportunity to minimize the effort that you have to put in, but also maximize the impact that you can have on communities across Australia. So you are welcome to choose the level of involvement that suits you. You can do one single workshop over the next 12 months and that's it. You can hop in your car and drive around and go and visit every single citizen science corner if you feel like it. You can do, we've partnered with an organization in America who wants to run workshops in all of the citizen science corners in Australia during the American National Science Week and their national science events so that they get international collaboration. So whatever level of involvement that you would like, we're happy to help you accommodate that. Your contribution can be scheduled anytime between July this year and June next year. So if you thought, yeah, this is something I'd really love to do, but I really don't have time right now, but over the Christmas holidays, I might have a spare day where I can contribute, let us know, we'll fit it into the calendar. The libraries have already built the citizen science corners. We've already helped them do that. So you don't actually have to handle the logistics of building the citizen science corner or developing the knowledge for it. Again, unless you want to develop new knowledge specific for your project that can be featured in the citizen science corners. The promotion and community engagement is all managed through AXA and ALIA. So again, even if you are having a presentation or engaging with a library, don't feel like it's just on you to get community members to attend your event. That's on us. But again, if you'd like to be involved in that side of things, we certainly won't stop you. Another thing is that depending on who you work for and your position, we're happy to align with your institute's engagement or impact reporting. So if part of your position in your organization is community engagement, or if you've got a key performance indicator with either your research project or your position in a company, and this is something that contributes to that, we're happy to give you like a certification to acknowledge your contribution to our project. I like answering questions because I love helping people learn. So you can ask us anything you need, but most importantly, have fun. That's the whole idea, to just spread the love and passion for science. The QR code on this page goes directly to the expression of interest form. If you haven't already tagged it, we will be sending it out at the end of this presentation as well. So we'll give you a follow-up of how you can participate. That is also my email address if you'd like to contact AXA about any of this, the Citizen Science Corners. Also, if you wanted to, for some reason, get in contact with the Australian Library and Information Association or get in contact with one of your libraries, if your public library in your area doesn't have a Citizen Science Corner, but you want them to, then you can reach out to ALIA and they can help coordinate that.